Welcome to the lounge. My name is Toby Roydell, and today we talk about conflicts and arguments and why people are so bad at it. First of all, what in the world do I even mean when I say that we need conflict or that there's anything good about conflict? I mean, it's the reality of so many people in every single country in the world, in your country, my country, every country, where violence is a means of solving conflict. Conflict itself means, at least to me and the Oxford Dictionary, a serious disagreement. And I want to talk about how to solve this serious disagreement, because that is what it's all about. Then to decide which way to solve it. And of course, that much beforehand, we don't want to talk about violence as a means to solving conflict. It could be on all sorts of topics, on how to live life, who is the bad guys, who's the good guys, which political view or religious view is the right one. You can have great disagreements and serious disagreements about some of those topics and many more. What I want to focus on today is to address the idea that I feel like many people have, that verbal conflict, the solving of verbal disagreements, is a bad thing, is evil, and you shouldn't do that. Don't talk about such topics. Don't offend anyone. Be nice. And that's a really, really bad thing. I want to begin with the question, who tells us that conflicts and arguments and discussions with friends, family, relatives are bad? It is because we are always told, already touched on it, to be nice and to don't offend anyone and to let everyone have their opinions and stuff like that. And okay, I'm perfectly fine, that's nice and stuff. But what if someone does not play by your rules? If someone decides to not play by those rules and viciously attacks you verbally? And then those people many times just win because of the inability of the people who always were nice, who are not capable of solving conflict verbally, to fire back, to make a stance, to have a great discussion without resorting to violence or aggression or cursing, stuff like that. And this phenomenon can be seen to the highest standards, to the highest positions in politics or talk shows, where you would assume that people know what they're doing when they get into discussions. But so many of those discussions degenerate into a quarreling of toddlers and crybabies. Where after a few minutes, no, you're stupid. No, you can't say that. That is mean. Like, what is that discussion? 0 points, 0 stances, and no idea how to have a meaningful discussion. To address the valid or invalid points of your opposition and dismantle them with your own good arguments. So I see many examples of really, really weak discussions and strategies of quarreling and arguing, and that needs to be fixed. And it's so easy. And I would never go as far as to say that those people are weak, that they don't know what they're talking about or stuff like that. No, that's not the case. They just didn't learn it. It's just a skill like pretty much everything else. You have to learn how to have meaningful discussion, and this gets hindered by this constant idea of not offending someone. Of course, sometimes you have to offend someone, even in practice or as a play game with your friends, to learn how to have meaningful discussions. And there is another huge benefit in this skill when you mastered it. It is that it's a huge part of freedom. You feel really free when you know your stuff, you can express yourself and you can make other people listen to you sometimes even. And you can make your stance and your points clear. It's a feeling of feeling free and independent with your own opinions and how to handle them. Let's just take this for example. I hope you felt this before too. How amazing is it having a discussion on a topic you know, ooh, that's a little bit risky. Someone might not like this topic. but it goes really well. And everybody engages into the discussion and people listen to each other. And you have so much benefit from it and a good evening when you realize I learned so much today and other people too. And you left the discussion or party, wherever you had your discussion, with a good feeling. And everybody benefited from this discussion. Everybody learned something. That's really great, and there's a huge benefit in that. So TLDR is, I rambled a little bit, sorry. But TLDR is, it's so great when you realize that differing opinions don't need to pull you apart, but can get you closer together. That's really great. And this is the exact right attitude for a discussion. The feel that you want to learn something new about the other person. How do they view the world? A little bit of listening, a little bit of input. How do other people, to widen your horizon for what other opinions are out there. And in a relationship, for instance, the discussions are necessary to sort something out that for one person, for one part of the couple, isn't right now. And it is to sort something out and even finding a compromise. It's really important. And the best thing is, you don't need to agree. Agree to disagree. It's perfectly fine. Live with it. But especially do not hate your partner for his or her differing opinions. If you want to hate someone, hate yourself for your incapability of letting new views into your life. And this finally leads to the most important kind of discussion and argument you will have in your whole life. And I'm quite certain that it will make or break you. It is just that important. And it is arguments, conflict, discussions with your partner, your romantic partner, so that I'm not getting misunderstood here. When a discussion with friends is level 2, the discussion with your girlfriend, spouse, whatever, is level 12 of 10. Everything about discussions that you've learned, you will need here. And let me tell you, it is more important than sex. Every one of us will talk way more in our lives to our partner than we will have sex with them. And we're really bad at it. Not at sex. Well, maybe that too. When you say, I avoid arguments completely, because they always tend to escalate and they degenerate into something like, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. When you say, I hate and avoid arguments, because I'm never allowed to be right and I'm always made to feel guilty and that everything is my fault. When you say, I don't argue anymore, I just say yes and nod to everything so that and so I get what I want and everyone is happy. When you say, I don't discuss several topics with my partner because if I know the evening will be ruined if I make a stand and say something, so I better say nothing. In that case, one or both partners of that couple have absolutely no clue how to have proper arguments or discussions. Have never learned them. And I, for example, had and still have a lot to learn here as well. I'm not taking myself out of this equation, telling everyone how it is done because it's so easy and stuff like that. No. It's a constant process. It probably never stops. Reminding yourself to have a proper discussion that leads to an outcome that is useful for both parts. It is hard to listen. It is hard to understand the partner. It is hard to trying to take their point of view. It is really hard to feel compassion for a partner whenever a discussion takes place and you feel like the one who has been wronged. It's so difficult. And we all make mistakes. We all say stuff that in the second it leaves our mouth, we regret it. We wish we never said that. I know what I'm talking about here. But he who never said anything bad in his whole life must have never said anything in his life. And without trying to argue, without trying to improve, we lose a really, really, really special chance. We lose the chance to be a real part of someone else's life by engaging with them. My name is Toby Roydell, and I will see you again next time, right here in my lounge.